fear and turning fear into greed are the essence of pitching. And if you pitch and you have overt fear, or if you pitch and you have overt ego, if you pitch and you don't make a connection with everyone in the room, you will never turn fear into greed. You will never turn people's concerns into desires. And the first thing that you have to do is actually look at you. Because you are your own press release. And most people don't spend any time on how they present. So what I'm going to go through in the next few minutes is some very simple things that you can do just in the form of yourself. Because if you are in the way, it won't happen. How many people here have pitched before and failed? Yeah, nearly everyone. How many people have pitched and succeeded wildly? Couple. Excellent. I can put my own hand up on that one. So I'm talking to most of you. You two may be just too good already, but we'll see. The first thing I want to deal with is your projection of fear. Now, how many people here are nervous when they go to speak in public? That's nearly everybody. I'm particularly nervous when I speak in public. There's a very simple cure for this. I want you to all stand up, feet about shoulder width apart, and just lift your heels just about this much off the ground and drop yourself down. Notice that you just feel immediately planted and grounded. If you do it and your feet are too close together, you feel like you're going to fall over. If you do it and your feet are too far apart, you look like a Texan with so it's just feet shoulder width apart, up, drop. Nice breath in, nice breath out. How does that feel? Does everyone feel calm? Like there was a moment of nervousness when I asked you to all get up, right? That's all gone now, isn't it? When you speak from a grounded position, you cannot help but be authentically grounded. In martial arts, you have a thing called the Dan Tien, which is your center of gravity. And this position, knees just maybe slightly bent, is how you would start almost any martial art. It is the most stable, solid, robust position. Compare that to the average nervous speaker who gives themselves the behind the back hug and talks down a little bit and crosses their knee in front because they're feeling really sort of nervous. How credible does this look? Now, I've seen pitches like this, right? Where people are pitching like this. I've seen people pitching like this. I've seen people pitching like this. I've seen people pitching into their hand, and it's really hard to hear them. These things are unconscious. We do them when we're stressed in order to make ourselves feel better. You need to get over yourself. You need to mind yourself. That means you need to have yourself in mind, and you need to get over yourself in order to pitch effectively. And when you do this, you're actually opening yourself. When you ground yourself, you have some solidity, and you're letting the emotions drain out, but you're actually opening yourself. And there's one more thing that you can do to be even more open. It's tilt your head slightly. We instinctively see a bad neck as open, and you will be more authentic that way. You can't help it. This is not an act. These are solid, real, physiological things. They actually change your neurochemistry in your head. If you put someone in a functional MRI, you get different results depending on their posture. So this is a real thing. It's like, you might have heard of method acting. Well, a little tiny piece of method acting involves the physicality. And when you get, you mind yourself and you get over that, you become more credible, you become more open, you become more engaging. Once you can sit back down now. You want to be able to speak with your whole body. Like if you just sit there going, hello, I'm Bill, and it's not powerful. It doesn't express yourself. Now, people wonder what to do with your hands. Think Italian, right? You can use your hands. I mean, you don't use them too quickly. Like you don't want to be chopping around all the time. At the same time, you want them open, you want them in front of you. Don't do this presidential here are my thumbs thing, right? By the way, that's just rubbish. Just be open. Open palms show that you are open, and it will make you more open. It's an interesting thing. If you smile, like if you're feeling unhappy and you make yourself smile and you hold a smile, the happy chemicals actually get released in your brain and you cannot resist becoming happy. The other way to get suddenly happy is to handle high value money. That also releases happy chemicals in your brain. You laugh, but actually it's found to be roughly the equivalent of taking serotonin reuptake inhibitors, just handling a £20 note or a €20 note. Particularly the smell of it, depending on where you come from, because different currencies have different smells. And also, if you need a boost suddenly before you're about to present, a £20 note in your hand or in your pocket that you know is there is going to do more for you than a shot of whiskey. Right? There's nothing quite as painful as being completely skint and not even having bus fare in your pocket when you go to pitch for money. It may be true. If that's true, borrow the 20. Once you have your stance and you've got your own calm, you want to get into the flow of it. That's true. You also want to be always asking a question. You want to be looking around and making sure that everyone that is in the room is being engaged with. Now, I don't mean running around and sort of looking at everyone one-on-one. I just mean make sure that you have people's eyes, that you have their attention, that you're aware if they're distracted or taking notes, whether they're really listening or not, whether you're engaging. Because you might be pitching to 5 or 6 people at once who might be in a collaborative team, and you've got 3 of them and 3 of them are lost. You want to sort of know, well, what's interesting to them? And that's, again, getting away from this thing of ego. If you start lecturing people, what do? They switch off. They feel threatened. They feel like, maybe, I believe the Irish phrase is, who do you think you are? If you, on the other hand, are genuinely engaging, maybe throwing in the odd question, but particularly looking at people and asking with your eyes, am I getting through to you? Like when somebody looks at you, you can't help but sort of become re-engaged, correct? And yet how many people, eyes front, just speak, maybe they move their hands, maybe they don't actually build a connection. How many people do that? It's pretty endemic, isn't it? You see a lot of bad pitches, don't you? See a lot of people, maybe they have great content, but they've got lousy stage presence. And this is stage presence. You need to own a space and you need to engage with everyone in it. And that means getting out of your head and while talking, listening. Now, of course, it's really important too, if you're going to do all this stuff, that you actually know the stuff that you're going to talk about. Like, if I didn't know the stuff that I was talking to you about right now, I couldn't maintain connection with you all and speak credibly, could I? So, don't talk about topics you don't know anything about. This is a big mistake to invent something new and then go talk about it. If you don't really know your stuff, it will show really quickly. And again, the ego thing comes into play. We want to be impressive, right? We all want everybody to think well of us, don't we? How many times have you said too much in order to try and get someone to be impressed by you? Get over your ego. Just give them what they need. Ask them questions. Try and engage them. What do you need the most? What is it that's missing in your life that if you tell me, I will then be able to respond authentically to? This is all about minding yourself. It's physicality and your mind that you have to get past to actually start connecting. Another thing is connecting with your voice. People just don't do vocal training. And it's really simple. It's all about breathing. By the way, and just an interesting side note, as you speak, because you interfere with your breathing pattern, you can actually get hypoxic. It means you get too little oxygen, and suddenly you stop making sense. So the last thing I want to go through with you on just this physicality bit is the most important part of breathing. Okay, first, breathe. That's really important. Second, breathe deeply occasionally as you present. Nobody is going to notice that you go, and now. And the third thing is, I want you to all try this with me, because when you speak, it makes a big difference. Okay, firstly, I just want everyone to take a little breath from here, just from the neck, like that. Right? You just got that little breath there. Now I want you to take a little breath with the center of your chest. It's going to be a bit bigger. Now I want you to breathe from the belly. Bigger still, right? Now try this. Breathe all three at once. Oh yes, now you can project. If you take, and remember to expand your whole chest, you got plenty to go with. And while you may not want to deafen your audience, you certainly want them to hear you up the back. You will sound much more confident than if you do the little mousy thing breathing just from here, which again I see so many people do. It's very comfortable to speak very quietly. If you're pitching, you've got to step out. People don't want to see you in your comfort zone. They want to see you stable, they want to see you open, and they want to see you out there. Right? So that's section 1.